Have you ever stood at a crossroad in your life feeling the heavy weight of choices pressing down on you? The kind of moment where every decision seems like a gamble and the future is surrounded by uncertainty. Let me tell you a quick story about a woman named Mia. Mia was a woman of dreams. Her heart was full of desire to create a change in her community. She had recently quit her job, which she was no longer inspired by in marketing, and she was seeking something more fulfilling. The leap was terrifying, yet liberating. She felt like she was stepping off a precipice into the unknown, but the thrill of possibility pulsed through her veins. Each day, she explored new paths, from volunteering at local nonprofits to initiating community art projects. But along her journey, Mia encountered the daunting force, a reminder that the world wasn't always fair. She soon faced the harsh realities of funding cuts and bureaucratic red tape. Each rejection felt like a hard slap across her dreams. Why does it have to be this way? She often wondered, feeling the weight of her desires pressing down like a heavy storm cloud. In her darkest moments, memories of her childhood flooded back. Joyous afternoons spent painting murals with her siblings in the neighborhood. These thoughts whispered to her, urging her to remember her roots and the innocence of her early passions. Perhaps it was time to turn back to those simple joys and rekindle that fire that once burned so brightly before the adult world complexities dimmed it. But just as she began to realize her next steps, there was conflict that came through the competition of the nonprofit space. Each time she took the initiative to introduce something new, she felt like she was the lone warrior battling against the tide. Frustration bubbled to the surface as she struggled to keep her dreams afloat amidst so much conflict. Would she drown in the sea of competitors, or could she forge her own path? Then came the pivotal moment. A decision awaited her. At a community meeting, she was forced to choose between joining a larger organization that offered stability, yet promised to stifle her creativity, or continue down the rocky path of freelance work, where passion was high, but the paychecks was low and sporadic. What would she choose? Just when the weight felt unbearable, inspiration struck. Mia took a deep breath and tapped into the spirit of her inner child. With renewed strength and clarity, she proposed a completely new idea, a community festival that merged local artists with the histories of their neighborhood, a carnival of culture and creativity meant to unite rather than to compete. Her enthusiasm lit up the room, and for the first time, she felt the tide beginning to turn. Months passed, and with tenacity and determination, the festival became a reality. It brought together artists, vendors, and families, reigniting the spirit of community that Mia had yearned for. People marveled at the colors, sounds, and connection being formed. Victory felt sweet as applause echoed around her. She had done it. But as Mia stood on stage, basking in the glow of her achievements, she noticed something that made her heart sink. Among the crowd, she saw not only elation, but also familiar faces of those who had rejected her proposals before. They were the same people who had doubted her vision, now celebrating something she had fought for. In that moment, a thought struck her. The organization she had initially sought to join and the competition she had faced were not her adversaries. They were reflections of her journey, stepping stones that had shaped her resilience. Perhaps the journey itself had been hidden. It was the hidden path to understanding her true self. Consider this is a powerful story that many of you may be able to relate to, whether it's your past, present, or future. Mia is a prime example of those of you who are out there with dreams and visions and goals that you want to pursue, but you might find yourself at a crossroads. You might find that you are having to make a decision based on one thing that will allow you to create the financial security that you need to keep up with your abundance, or that decision that allows you to express your creativity without any boundaries. Really think about what freedom can do for you. Mia made the decision to go with her vision, and she knew that it was going to require a lot more effort, a lot more perseverance, a lot more faith, because that tangible evidence would not become evident until she was persistent in achieving her goals. But if you continue to press forward, you're definitely going to see the fruits of your labor. The story is a channeled message that gives you clarity about where this pathway is taking you. So for those of you who are still at the crossroads and you can't quite see the way ahead, listen to this particular story, because you can place yourself in that. Place yourself in the storyline as the main character. You are Mia in a lot of ways, but consider that victory and success is ultimately going to be yours if you just keep going, and if you make that firm decision that is truly in alignment with your vision, that will not suppress your vision. Yes, you will come across competition. Yes, you will have the naysayers, but those same people will also be the ones that will be applauding you and watching you rise into your divinity and press towards success. Keep going out there. This is all about recognizing that every struggle, every setback, every triumph is to build you into that passionate warrior that you naturally are. Don't overlook the lessons and trials, and definitely don't assume that they're in vain, because they're never in vain. All of these things are happening for your highest good. And all it takes is for you to have a vision. All it takes is for you to have the passion behind that vision, the fire to fuel the forward movement and taking the practical efforts towards that vision, the clarity that you need in order to lay out the details. And it takes for you to recognize that you deserve this. You've earned this. This is your good karma that's playing out in your favor. You've earned the experience of seeing your passions and your visions as a part of your 3D reality. So keep going out there, y'all. I hope this message resonated. If it did, make sure that you like and subscribe, share it with somebody who may need to hear it. And I'll talk to you all next time.